And we... No? Are we live, people? There you go, guys. We are live now. I believe we are live. Technical difficulties. Big up the channel. I hope everyone is well. It is, of course, Chosen Wisdom Football. And today's your Monday show. So today is your weekend fallout show. We're not going to spend too long on Saturday's match, guys, because one, I didn't see the match. I only saw the highlights. And I'm not going to lie, guys. The game didn't seem like it was a good game. I've spoken to TK, spoken to Acho. They've told me it wasn't a good game. I've gone online and everyone online is saying that it's one of the worst games that we have played under Michael Carrick. So today's show, we're not going to spend too long on the weekend's game, guys. I'm going to be honest. We are going to look forward today. As you can see, Hojlund. It seems like we will receive the 44 million euros for Rasmus Hojlund, as he will be signed permanently by by Lazio. So that is news. You guys have all heard by now. I'm late to the party, I know, guys, but you guys have all heard by now the Ederson news. Are Manchester United really about to sign Ederson from Atalanta? Is that really what Manchester United are going to do? We are going to talk about it. We're going to see how real this story is. Is it clickbait? Who has started this rumor? How serious is it? Is he a player that we're going to get? We're going to get into that as well. Also, guys, is there a possible Luke Shaw replacement? Apparently, we are looking at Maxi Araujo from Sporting Lisbon as a potential Luke Shaw replacement. We're going to get into that as well. Rashford, as you guys have all seen probably by now, Rashford wants to stay at Barcelona. He wants to stay at Barcelona, and not only does he want to stay at Barcelona, I'm pretty sure he scored over the weekend in the Clasico. Rashford is having a good time. He's playing for a club that has most of the ball. He doesn't need to run around and track back like we would have wanted him to at United, and he is flourishing. We're going to talk about that as well. There are reports, and consistent reports once again, saying that Manchester United will sign a minimum of 5 players over the summer. And last but not least, guys, we're going to talk about once again Kobbie Mainoo. United have celebrated Kobbie Mainoo's 100th appearance at Manchester United. Think about it. He's only 21 and he's already made 100 appearances for the football club. So, guys, there is a lot for us to get through today. We're going to start off in the weekend's game. Say what you want to say about the weekend's game, guys. Let me know how good it was. Who would have stand that performance, if anything? I've seen the highlights of the game. I see that Xerxes didn't play that well. Ahmad didn't play that well either. In fact, the whole team stunk the place out. So I know some of you guys will say that is a reason why we need a stronger squad. That's the reason why we need a stronger squad. So big up the chat. Let me touch base with the community, see what everyone's saying, making sure everyone is good before we start our show today. Big up Acho in the building, but Acho already says run Ederson. So Acho wants Ederson. What's TK saying? TK says no to Ederson. No Premier League experience, just my take. TK, let's talk about it, TK, because as you can tell, I'm not overly excited about Ederson. And I have my reasons, and so we'll get into it. We will get into it, no doubt. TK says we need to pillage the weaker teams. Sounds like war. That's war talk. But yeah, I agree. I agree. Run me, especially after West Ham, run me Mateus Fernandes. Run me Mateus Fernandes from West Ham. He looks all right. Eddie, what's Eddie saying? Ederson is a good signing. I don't know why people are trying to snub him all of a sudden, says Eddie. We'll get into it. We'll get into the Ederson stuff. TK says, I saw you. You looked as confused as Xerxes on Saturday. Big up, TK. Serie A watch along today for me. Did I say Lazio? It was Napoli. I said Lazio, but I meant Napoli in terms of Hojlund. I need Napoli to win to secure Champions League. TK says, Eddie, European experience means not a lot if Ederson is coming to the Prem. And Eddie says, might be Xerxes' time up. However, if you are calling him out, then Mount needs to be called out harder. Eddie, I am with you 100%. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Ivan, big up Ivan. They're going to miss out on Anderson and tell us it was Ederson they always wanted. Must be a misunderstanding. The Anderson thing is also interesting. I hear people saying, listen, Ivan, are you spending 120 million pounds on a 23-year-old Anderson? He's only just surfaced out of thin air this year. Where was he a year ago, 2 years ago? And if you watch Anderson, listen, I'm only asking Ivan, is he that good? If you can get a Ederson for 40 million pounds and a Anderson for 120 million, he's not going to cost that much, but let's just say, is the difference in their ability 80 million pounds worth? It's just a question. It's just a question. Anyway, let's start, guys, by having a quick chat about the game. I didn't watch the game, so there's not a lot I can weigh in. The only thing I can say, guys, about the game is I already said that with nothing to play for, it's going to be a very interesting end of the season. It is difficult to motivate the players now that they know that they've qualified for the Champions League. They're not going to even fall out of the top four. Probably not. And nothing will happen if they win or lose, really, the next games. So I also want to state that, I also want to say a bit of context that it's difficult to come into a team when you haven't been playing. I don't always blame the players for being rusty. I think it's the manager's duty to try to be as flexible as possible and try to get as many players involved as they can. And now Carrick has been quite consistent with the team that he's selected. And yes, Mount and other players have been injured. The question that I have to ask my chat is, has Carrick even given some of these fringe players, like the likes of Xerxes, Mount, for instance, time to get match fit? Has he? Has he given them a foundation to actually perform in this game? Another question I have is, we were away from home against Sunderland, and when we played Sunderland early on in the season, they were really good. They were really good. So our first team, our strongest team, found it hard against Sunderland. So Sunderland are not an easy team. And I'm saying all of this just to provide a bit of context, because I didn't see the game. And I understand, guys, how Ahmad is now, people are talking about Ahmad even more now. And I feel like I'm with TK in the chat, where I understand, I can see that Ahmad's form has dipped, especially since January, since AFCON. We can all see that. That's a fact. I think I'm in a position where let's just see what happens at the start of next season. Give him a break. Give him time off. First time he's had to be the star boy of his country at an international tournament where everyone looked to him. for Ivory Coast. And let's just see. I'm not going to make too much judgment calls on someone like Xerxes because I see Xerxes' talent. And as Eddie says in the chat, if we're going to look at Xerxes, we're going to have to look at Mount. And I've been seeing a lot of people talk about Maguire. And I saw some of the counterattacks and I see Maguire just out of place. And I keep saying this, if we want to play with a high line, it is very difficult for us to do that with Maguire. It is as good as he has been at times this season. Maguire has been good in times this season. He's also conceded 2 penalties this season. So I don't know what else you guys want to say. Let me know what your thinking is about the game. It was a nothing game for me. It was a draw. Probably deserved to lose. It wasn't like Bruno turned up in that game either. And Cunha missed a really good chance at the end to seal it. So that's all I'm going to say really about the game. Unless the chat wants to talk about the game a bit more, I'm willing to now start talking about the transfers, people. I'm ready to start talking about transfers and start, looking forward, people. So is everyone good now? That's just my take on the game. Cool. TK says Mount's been on bus since day one. Mount has been hiding like mouse and stealing a living. Get him out first. Eddie, the media is interesting. It's so interesting, Eddie, how some players get Mount, Shaw's, Maguire's, those kind of players, the England internationals who are friends with the English media and who are friends with the English journalists will always get the most amount of protection. That's just obvious. The foreign talents who don't have an in with Ornstein, he doesn't have a connection with Ben Jacobs. These guys who don't have connections with the media and therefore aren't protected, they're going to get it more. It is absolutely incredible how Anthony Martial, who we absolutely needed, he was worshipped. When he played up front, we looked like a different team, but he was injury prone. And we were angry that he was injured all the time. Don't forget, we were like, let's sell Martial. Not because he's not good enough, but let's sell him because he was injury prone. And then there's Mason Mount, who plays about 5 games. He costs us £60 million. So he costs us more than Martial, right? Plays about 5 games max, maybe 10 games max a season for the past 4 seasons. And there isn't a big push to get him out the club. And he's wearing the number 7, the most iconic shirt in this football club's history. And there isn't a big push to get him out because he's always injured and he's never there for Man United. Because the narrative will change. The narrative is when he does play, he's all right. Yeah, but so is anyone. When Martial did play, Martial was amazing when he played. So why couldn't he use the same? Guys, on this channel, I will call it out. You guys should know me by now. My brain works in a way where I can hold 2 things at constant, and I can see the difference between how one thing's been treated and another thing. It's a crime. It is absolutely abysmal how some players get treated. I remember, guys, Philip Johnson. It's not his name, not Philip, but Phil Jones was here for 3 years on the bench, just injured. For 3 years, we didn't see him. He was getting paid, and no one spoke about it. No one spoke about Phil Jones for 3 years just being injured. Nobody. It is what it is, guys. But as long as we understand it, that's all that matters. Eddie's funny. Respectfully, the amount of grace that Mount has been granted by the general fan base is crazy. Not one performance I can argue really shown Mount as a head turner. We have played him at an 8, 6 and 10 and false 9, but can't name a notable performance for Mount. The issue I have with Mount, I think Mount, is technically sound. The issue I have with Mount is kind of the Lingard issue, where I feel like Andoni van der Beek issue, where there are some players who don't grab the game, who don't stand in a game. Mount will get the ball and just give it back to you straight away. He doesn't take that responsibility. He won't get the ball and drive with it. He won't get the ball and just start an attack. He is a player that you play through. You don't notice until he scores. You don't notice him. And that's my issue with Lingard. I like Lingard. I like those sort of players who, when a team's playing well, you do notice them. But they're never going to be the... No, Lingard less so. Because Lingard, listen, when the Messi version of Lingard, that year when Lingardinho was doing a madness for was it Louis van Gaal where he was doing a madness? Him and Pogba. And yeah. But Mason Mount isn't that guy. He's just... When things are going bad, you just don't notice him. I need him to. I want a team like the Roy Keane, Scholes, Rio, Vidic era. You know, when every single one of those players were leaders. Every single one of them could go and captain another team, right? Mate, that's not Mason Mount. That's one of my issues with Mason. Big up, guys. I feel like I've said enough. Let's talk about the transfer rumors. As you can see, yeah, Casper the friendly ghost. I agree that he's technically sound, but he is Casper. Yeah, I think that's Mason Mount for me. That's Mason Mount for me. Hojlund, guys. Hojlund, can I say about Hojlund that I've never thought Hojlund was bad, and I've said one or two things about Hojlund. I've said he's not good enough for Manchester United. I don't think he's technically good enough. I think physically he is. And the funny thing about Hojlund, actually, he's similar to Gyökeres in how he plays football. And in about 2 or 3 years, I think Hojlund will come good. The issue, I've never said Hojlund was absolutely dog S. I've said he's just not good enough for Man United. And I've said that in a different team, because he was 20 years, was it 20 years old? He was only 20, guys, when we got him. He's young. And I said a different team where he didn't have to be the main man, where he could come off the bench, where maybe Xerxes, because Xerxes was 3 years older than him, or Xerxes should have been the main man and he should have been the one coming off the bench. We should have protected him. He wasn't ready to lead the line at Manchester United Football Club. But I understood that while I didn't really like him technically, I understood that physically, his physical profile was good for the league. It was good for the league, you know? So I got no, listen, when it comes to me, when it comes to the Hojlunds and the Garnachos and the Rashfords, I don't have animosity towards these guys. I just wanted them out of the football club. And now that they're out, I am good. I am good, people. Yeah? So let's get into it. Let's get into it, people. Are we happy about this? Manchester United to receive 44 million for Rasmus Hojlund from next week on. Plan confirmed with obligation to buy. Ederson remains on the list and contacts took place, but one of multiple options under consideration at this stage. So I'm glad. Either way, I'm going to conclude with the whole Hojlund thing now. I'm glad he's having a good time in Italy. Sorry. Yeah, he's back in Italy. This is where he came from. I think that league's better for him. It's slower paced. He'll have more fun in the league. He's playing for a Napoli team, which is a very good team. And I kind of knew it was going to work. And I'm glad it works. Well, I'm not a hater. I'm glad it's worked for Hojlund. Well done, Hojlund. And he's like, Hojlund is trash. Get off it, Wiz. All right. Listen, I don't think Hojlund's great. I've already said that, Eddie. I don't think he's great technically, but hear me out. Looking at the state of the strikers now in the league, looking at the state of strikers now in Europe, I'm telling you, the likes of Hojlund in about 2 or 3 years' time, they're going to look quite decent. I don't really rate the strikers market. I really don't. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, we will receive the money for Hojlund. And the question is the money well spent on Ederson? Let's talk about Ederson then. I feel like you guys have done your Hojlund talk. TK says for him, Hojlund is a 35 million loss. Moved on from him as soon as he went on loan. Fair enough, TK. More than happy with Hojlund getting moved on. Wasn't good enough on the overall. All right, I'm better than. He's like, I'm better than Hojlund. Get me in. All right then. I'm gonna say this about Ederson, guys. I'm gonna pose some questions for the chat, and you know how my brain works. First one I'm gonna ask the chat is this: is this too little, too late? We were in for Ederson about 2 years ago when he was 24, 23. And now he's 26. He's hitting his prime. He's not young. We do usually get players around 25, 26 and under. So he's hitting sort of, in July, he'll be 27. Is this too late? What's one question? I'm going to just throw loads of questions. Is he good enough? Is he the 6? Is he the Casemiro replacement? The Ugarte replacement? Because Baleba's not really a 6 per se. Baleba's kind of an 8. He can do the 6. Anderson's kind of an 8 as well. Is he the 6th replacement? Is he, as TK says, physical enough? I'm not giving answers. I'm just throwing questions out to the chat. We've seen what the midfield is like and what it's like to play in the midfield in the Premier League. We've seen him for Atalanta dominate teams in the Champions League. So he could do it in the Premier League. Can he do it in the Premier League? Then another question I have for the chat is the fee reasonable? £39 million, right? Is the fee reasonable? Is this, where is he on our list? Where do you guys think he is on our list of midfielders? Are Man United just patterning up personal terms and then not doing anything else afterwards? Just as they usually do in the summer. Do you want to come to us? And if you want to come to us, cool. If you don't, he ain't talking to you. Is that what's happening here? All of these questions come to mind. Is this a ploy just to bring Atletico Madrid back to the table? By saying that he's coming to Man United. So Atletico Madrid, who is his initial destination, right? Before we got involved. Does he even get into the Brazilian team ahead of Casemiro, who's an old man? Does he? Does he play for Brazil? Does he get into the Brazilian team ahead of Cas, the old man? If Cas is still playing ahead of him for Brazil, then is that another question I need to ask? All of these things and more. All of these things and more. Is he tall? How tall is he? There's no point in putting 5 or 8 people in our midfield. Anyway, this is the story, guys. United, according to Fabrizio Romano, are talking to Ederson's agents. The conversations are active. United are aware of Atalanta's price tag of £39 million. However, the deal is not at the stage of almost being done. So despite what you've been seeing over the weekend, people, about deal done and United stand and United view and Goldbridge and these guys, the deal is not fucking done. That's one of the first things I want to say to my chat. There's no way I would believe that this deal would be done. The tweet goes on to say there are 5 or 6 midfielders under consideration at United. Ederson is not the only one. All right, guys, before I read the chat and touch base with you lot, I'm going to give my opinion, right? This is my opinion on the whole thing. I think this is not advanced. This is what's happened. Ederson is probably 5th or 6th on the list, right? We have to contact all of them. Are you crazy? So number 1 could be Tonali. Number 2 could be Anthony Anderson. Number 3, Baleba. Number 4, Wharton. Number 5 could be Mateus Fernandes. Number 6 could be Ederson. We have to, if all those are on our list, we have to contact all of them to make sure they want to come to our club. Because if you don't contact Ederson now, and we go through our list and Tonali rejects us, reject, and then we contact Ederson in July, he's not going to want to come. This is normal for us to contact everybody and to see Wagwan, brethren. You want to come or not? Ederson obviously can see he'd rather come to United than flipping Atletico Madrid. So when we called him, he answered the phone and he goes, Wagwan. I'm like, yeah, Wagwan, Man United. Do you want to come, Ederson? Yeah, of course. Boom. Cool. Secured. We're going to still go through our list. Tonali still first. Or Anderson. We still have our priorities that we'll go through. But we'll call you. You know the ones where you've got someone on standby. Yeah, I'll call you. I'll call you later. Yeah. Next week, maybe. Or the week after. I don't know. It depends. That is what it is. That is what it is. But he's on the list, which means we like him and we are very interested, and that's why we are talking to him. So I'm prepared, guys, to have a conversation about where he is, what kind of player he is, how he fits in, the fee, all of these things. Let me see what the chat is saying first. Where's the chat taking the conversation? Where are we going with this, guys? Frankie de Jong, TK says, no, it's not too late. Acho says, not too late. Wiz, look at other players we are linked with. Tonali's 26 and Chouameni is also 26. This is a perfect age. Yeah, he is at the prime of his career. Surely he's at the prime. He's at his prime. And, 26, about 29. I reckon 30 is kind of the prime for midfielders. And he's entering his prime years. So I feel like right now he'll have to go straight into the team. Eddie says he is on Tonali's levels, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie, Eddie. When I've seen Ederson, when I watch him play, I know TK might have doubts about his ability to play in the Prem, but his general aggression, Eddie, when he plays football is up there. He's very aggressive footballer. I think he will be fine in the Prem, Eddie. I think he'll be okay from what I see. He doesn't get bullied off the ball. And yes, the Italian league is a slower paced league. So we have to take that into consideration. But when he does play in Europe, he's fine. TK says Ederson will become Ugarte 2.0. Please don't buy him. I understand, Eddie. I understand those concerns. I don't mind Ederson. But if you ask me to choose between the Prem proven option and Ederson, I am going to take Wharton, Tonali, Anderson and Baleba over Ederson. I will. I will take the guys who I've seen play in the Prem over Ederson. I will. But what makes this interesting for me, guys, is the fee. So once again, you're going to ask yourself the question now. Ederson isn't Prem proven, but he's still a good player. And he could do well in the Prem. Then you got Anderson, who's Prem proven, or Tonali, who's Prem proven, who is worth double the amount. And if I told you that there's only a 10% difference in ability between Ederson and Tonali, you can argue. Eddie says there isn't. They're on the same levels. But if I told you, let's say Tonali, let's say TK's right and Tonali and the likes of Anderson are just a couple, a little bit better than Ederson. It translates to double the amount of money for them. Imagine knowing we can get Ederson for 40, Mateus Fernandes for 40, bam, 2 midfielders for 80, right? And then have another 80 million for our big time, like spend 80 on Tonali. I'm just giving an example. I think what makes this interesting, guys, is the fee. It is relatively affordable. And that's why United are like, even though he might be 5th or 6th on our list, £39 million. We can. That means we can sign. We can actually sign the three midfielders we want. If we get one of, if we get one of them for 40 M's, we can sign three midfielders. So whether we get Ederson for 40 M's or Mateus Fernandes for 40 M's, if we want three, I really, really think one of them needs to cost around that much. What do you guys think? Let me touch base with the chat again. Um, TK is not having it. On our list of 10 midfielders, Ederson should be 17th. So I find that funny, man. I'm not wedded to this anyway. Everyone can have their opinion on Ederson. Ederson is great on and off the ball. Nothing like Ugarte. I don't think a lot of you have watched him. No, I've seen it. I will. He's not like Ugarte. He's better. Listen, Ederson is better than Ugarte. He is. He's much better than Ugarte. I will take him, but not over some of the players that we have been linked with. That's my stance. Eddie says fish and chips player. Fish and chips players, you know. Casemiro is your vet player. I don't think it's a concern that Cas is ahead of him in the pecking order. Really, Atro? I mean, Cas is 33 and he's 27. I would hope a 27-year-old is pushing Cas out of the starting lineup for Brazil by now. You'd hope, right? No. Eddie says, I don't think we are even looking at Wharton. Eddie, there is no talk about us looking at Wharton, but you know the ones where, how can we not be looking at Wharton? I think everyone's technically looking at Wharton, but in the sense that he's not a player you think we are aggressively trying to purchase or something like that, then maybe. Because there isn't any big talk about Wharton at the moment. There isn't. The Wharton thing has gone a bit quiet. Tonali is very overpriced. We should stay away, says Eddie. All right, I like the fact that we all have different opinions on this. I think it's a good thing. TK says Ederson is at his prime and he's only worth £39 million. TK's questioning the fact that he's at his prime. He hasn't had the best of season. I don't think Atalanta have had the best of season. All I'm going to say is this, like I said, Ederson is a good player, TK. He is good, TK. And I think for that £39 million, I think that's a good fee for him. Once again, I just wouldn't buy him ahead of some of the players that we are linked with. But yeah, polarizing opinions on Ederson in the chat, which is what we love. We're not an echo chamber in this space. We are not. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, but only time will tell. The question I have for the chat now is, will we get him? Do you honestly think we will get him? That's now the question. Yeah. When it comes to valuations of players, guys, I would say that trying to find logic in player valuations is not always easy. Sometimes you can justify it, and sometimes you're like, why is he so high? Why is he so little? TK says, I think Anderson will be an expensive overspend for whoever buys him. I'm with TK in that one. I'm with you, TK. The more and more watch Anderson, TK, and I keep saying the same thing. For me, the way that Caicedo was the guy at Brighton, so it justifies £100 million. The way that Caicedo, Declan Rice was just the guy at West Ham, just the head and shoulders. And listen, you can say even then I wouldn't Declan Rice isn't £100 million. And even then, Caicedo wasn't £100 million. But they were the guy. They were head and shoulders the standout players. Cunha, standout. Mbumo, standout. I don't see Anderson as that guy for Forest. If anything, and TK, no, we've spoken about it, T Kizzles, Morgan Gibbs White is the guy for them. So I agree with TK. I think Anderson is a good player. He is. But once again, he will be an overspend. He will be an overspend. Eddie says, I think we will definitely get Fernandez if West Ham go down. I hope so, Eddie. The more and more I watch Fernandez, I'm like, hold on a second. This guy's good. This guy's actually, he's tenacious. And one thing I think, there's one thing I know that in terms of our recruitment, we have to do is make sure our midfield, whatever midfield we get, guys, they have to be able to go up and down the pitch with elephant lungs like Kante. If we can get a midfielder who never gets tired, who can run for days, who doesn't get injured, I think that's what we need. That fighter, that warrior, who is technically good. We need that player, guys. We need that because I'm tired of our midfield getting bullied by the Newcastles and other midfield. We need that midfielder. If that midfielder is Ederson, then cool. If it's Tonali, then cool. But that profile, that aggressive, that midfielder that wins 80% of their duels, yeah? If you look at Ederson, and there was a stat, if I can bring it up, I'll bring it up, where there's an Ederson stat, there is a Baleba stat, and there's a comparison about who wins their duels more. I think Ederson wins about, was it like 70% of his duels? We need a duel, a guy that wins all their duels, that if the ball's around them, they're going to just bully you off the ball. We need that footballer in this modern game. We really do. The more and more I think about it, I'm like, we need that player, that dog in that midfield. Ugarte was supposed to be that. It hasn't turned out that way. Casemiro could have been that, but Casemiro, and I've spoken about this, he was kind of the number 8. He wasn't really the 6 for Real Madrid. So Cas hasn't really turned out to be that, but we need that profile, guys. That midfield general. I think we need it. I think we need it. Let me see what the chat's saying. I heard that was, but it's like saying you want to know how players in the side, especially in midfield. It is like not playing Cruz and Modric just because a new kid is popping off in Madrid. True. It's about balance. You can't just shove a new kid in. If Casemiro brings balance to that Brazilian team, then that's what it is. Actual things will genuinely get Ederson. All right, guys. TK says if United's aspiration are to get Ederson, we are in trouble. So TK has put his. He's not on Ederson. He doesn't like Ederson as a. Is it just a fee, or you just don't? I don't think TK rates Ederson as a footballer. Um, yeah, Ederson. I want to be clear. Ederson and the marquee signing. I just feel like he's better than Ugarte, and he's. Would you say he's better than Casemiro as well? Yeah. So for 40 million, a player who's better than both Ugarte and Casemiro for half the fee of Tonali, I'm just saying, I understand why United are looking at him. I understand. Um, but I think he's not one of the top options. My Footy podcast. Big up my Footy podcast. What are you saying, guy, about Ederson? Yes, Anderson is Premier League proven, but Ederson is Champions League proven. What the hell's going on, guys? That is a comment and a half there. Let's think I want to just think about what my Footy podcast just said. Anderson is Premier League proven. A couple of years in the Premier League now. £100 million. Ederson is Champions League proven. We've seen him in the Champions League against the best footballers. And we've seen him body guys in the Champions League. So, I think that's a fair comment from My Footy Podcast. I like those sort of comments because it switches perspectives. You know them ones? It changes perspectives. Would you take Joe Linton from Newcastle? No. I wouldn't, Eddie. Would you, Eddie? Would you take him? Listen, guys, we play with 3 midfielders and we need about 6. All I'm saying is this. If we had, out of 6 midfielders next season, if we had Bruno, Kobe, Tonali, Beleba, Tonali, Beleba, Bruno, Kobe, Tonali, Beleba, Ederson, and who else is still here? That's 5, right? We need 1 more. And a young player from the academy. That wouldn't be bad. Let me say this again. Bruno, Kobe, in our midfield. In terms of 6 midfielders to choose from, Bruno, Kobe, Tonali, Beleba, Catherine Gata will leave, Ederson, and so probably someone from the academy because we need the new rules might come in with the 21-year-olds from the academy. We need an academy player. Or let's say we get another midfielder. Or Mason Mount if he's still here. That's still better and a lot stronger than what we have now. Anyway, guys, big up the chat. This is definitely a conversation that's going to keep going. Nothing's happened yet. As usual, we've spoken to him and he's interested in coming to Manchester United. Nothing has been signed. We have not signed a player. He's not close to being signed. We're not going to do it because he's not our main target. Once we understand where we are with our main targets, then we can start looking at the 4th and the 5th one. Right? Big up My Footy Podcast coming in as well, bro. Giving, adding some good points to the chat. Big up the chat, man. Molder Society. Someone new, a new face in the building, just stepped in the building with his lemon pepper steppers. Big up Molder Society. What's up? I'm good, man. Let me know what you're saying, Molder Society, about this Ederson. Give me your opinion, my guy, on Ederson. Are you feeling the signing? Do you want it? Do you want him? Do you want him? Okay. Anyway, I've done my Ederson propaganda. I've tried to look at both sides. I've looked at the negatives a little bit, and I've tried to be positive in this stream, while still saying that for me, he is towards the bottom of our list. I really, truly think he's towards the bottom of our list. So big up the chat. TK says, compromises, we buy Ederson and we have him sit on our bench until it's a Champions League match. Bro, if Casemiro can play for us in the Premier League and Ederson's supposed to be more mobile, he's supposed to be quicker, a better pass of the ball, all of these things, I don't know if he's not going to be better than Casemiro in the air. He's not. And Casemiro has Casemiro has the experience as well. So who knows? If we sign him, he might surprise you, TK. Of course, I hope as a Man United fan that if we do sign him, he will be a success and he will surprise us all. That's what we all hope. Eddie says, I will talk Joe Linton for a spliff and African Guinness. Oh, I'll take for a spliff and African Guinness, You're funny. Eddie, what is up with Guinness, though? The elders love their Guinness. When I drink Guinness, I'm like, what is this? The olders, listen, I love my Guinness punch. Give me my Guinness punch. But this Guinness, on its own. No, that's from blasphemy, bro. That's from voodoo. I don't want that. TK says, I don't want Anderson if he is 100 million. My Footy podcast. Absolutely. I watched him against Villa in the Europa League. Yeah. My Footy, I think me and TK, I think it's a running joke, but it's not actually a running joke. It's kind of serious. I think we feel like Man City will get him, and they're going to get him for like £70 million. That's what's going to happen, all right? My Footy podcast. Anyway, guys, what else have we got? So we got Hojlund, obligation to buy 39 or £40 million coming in. We've got potential Ederson. We don't know yet, but we are talking to him, and he could come. He could come. He's on the list. Luke Shaw replacement. Do we have a Luke Shaw replacement, guys? TK says Guinness is shite. All right. You guys gonna wait. You guys are gonna have to weigh in on this conversation very quickly. Um, very quickly, guys. I've seen this player a few times, so I'm not gonna lie to my chat and say I'm well versed in this player. I've seen him a few times. I haven't seen him enough to give you guys an assessment of him, how he plays football, or anything. So I'm gonna rely on my chat because you guys know some shit. You guys know a lot of shit. So apparently this is true, guys. We have held exploratory talks with the agent of Maxi Araujo, and I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. So if you know how to pronounce it, correct me. You know me, I like to be right than be wrong. So Maxi Araujo, we have explored, we have had talks with this player. Manchester United are very interested in the sporting star as a long-term replacement for Luke Shaw. But before we get excited and before we do anything silly, guys, I'm just going to sit there and think about all the false starts, all the false dawns. Can we go through them? Where was it? It was Alex Telles. Let's go for it. Alex Telles. Help me, guys. You guys are going to have to help me out. Alex Telles, full start. We thought we were going to get rid of Shaw. Alex Telles came, and then Luke Shaw went, hold my bear, and fit again. Luke Shaw does this. We get a replacement. We feel like we were over Luke Shaw, and then he comes back like a thief in the night. He gets up like the Undertaker. You know the Undertaker goes, he gets up like this. That's Luke Shaw. So Telles, Malacia. We tried it, Malacia. Luke Shaw said, no. You ain't kicking me out. Brandon Williams. We had Brandon for under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for like 6 months, but now Brandon Williams. Where is Brandon Williams now, guy? Where is Brandon Williams now? So wait, Telles, Malacia, Brandon Williams. Who else have we tried? Guys? Religon. Yeah. Regulon as well. We had for a little, I think for on loan from Tottenham for about 6 months. And when we got him on loan, he didn't even play. Regulon didn't even play when we got him. Oh, I feel like every time I hear we're gonna get a left back to rival Shaw, I'm always like, okay. Shaw's gonna up his game. Shaw's gonna put the burgers down. Shaw always does that. He's like, okay, I'm gonna eat some burgers. There's no competition. Give me the burgers. And then when he gets a little competition, he's like, okay, cool. Let me put down the burgers and the chips a little bit. Let me put them to the side. Then he gets fit. Look at this year. This year, man, he's played every game in the Premier League, bro, for the first time in 10 years. Let me see what the chat is saying. Because once again, guys, I'm not going to lie to you and say I know a lot about this player. So if any of you guys know anything about him, let me know. If you're excited about this, Is this something for me? Is this something for us to be excited about? Basically, that's what I'm asking my chat. Or should we just move on, people? Um, Ugarte get it shifted. Yes, Ben Jacobs has maintained the price will be well below 100 million. I'm for Anderson, I assume, My Footy podcast. Acho says, respectfully, no more transactions with Sporting. Thanks for Ronaldo, but Amorim done his damage. Never again. Scarred for life. Yeah, I'm with TK with that comment with Man City. We spoke about this, TK. I'm with you, bro. Yeah, Manasseh, Regulon, Brandon was doing up utility settings. We also tried an orange cone and it was the best option. Says TK. Yeah, guys. I don't know. I don't know a lot about this player, so I can't get excited. We've done this before where we bought a left back and we thought this left back was really good. I thought Tellez was going to be really good for us. I really did. But it just didn't. It didn't pan out that way. So we will see. We will see if this becomes more serious. Then I'll do my research and come back to you. So let's move on. Let's move on, then, people, before we wrap up. Marcus Rashford. With his Marcus Rashford has a nice peanut head. I got a big head, but Marcus Rashford's head is look at it, it's peanutty. Is it? It's almond. Is it? Sorry. Oh, listen. Sometimes on stream you gotta say silly things, guys. It's not everything serious. But yeah, I like it because everyone's got that little back of the head is like that. Rashford back of the head is like the back of the back of Rashford's head is zip. Straight like cliff top, Brighton cliff top settings. The ones, the certain places, yeah, where there's a sea, but there's no beach. It's just cliff, and then sea. Yeah, that's Marcus there. Cliff top, edge, head. Guys, listen, let me be immature for a little bit. Anyway, all I'm gonna say is this: Marcus Rashford. I got no beef with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford needed to leave the football club because Man United needed 11 players. The way that Cunha, like I said, the way that Cunha playing left wing right now is slide tackling his left back. The way that Dorgu runs all the way back, and Mbumo and Ahmad on the right hand side, Rashford is not doing that job. He's not doing it, right? So the way that we have to run around like headless chickens in this modern Premier League, I still can't see Rashford doing it. I've been saying Rashford needed to leave for 3 years and he's left. And I'm glad he's left. And just because someone's having a good time, like Hojlund's having a good time, Rashford's having a good time, I don't think it necessarily means we need to bring them back. Sometimes it's about styles. I am prepared to admit that while Xerxes is technically good enough to be at the club, his style might not match what we want to do. I can admit that. So, similar to Rashford, I always knew Rashford was going to do well at Barcelona. 1v1 on his day, when Rashford doesn't have to think. Rashford is instinctive, which means he has lots of purple. If you're an instinctive player, i.e. you rely on your feelings, you rely on this instinct, you will have purple patches. If you're an intelligent player, i.e. it's not instinct, it's just you doing calculations and you doing the right thing at the right time, you won't really have purple patches. You will have more of a consistent way of playing. Rashford is a vibes player. He wants to feel good when he's playing football. And I hope that Ahmad isn't also a vibes player. I want a footballer to score a goal even when his belly's aching. You might have a headache today and the whistle blows and you've got a headache, right? I don't care. I want you to just zone out of that headache and just run your socks off and score a goal. So Rashford is done okay. Rashford has done his job. Barcelona have now won he's won the title. He's won the championship with Barcelona. Well done, Rashford. He's back in the England squad. Well done, Rashford. All of this can still be true, and I still don't want him to come back to Man United. All right. So Marcus Rashford keeps getting asked if he wants to come back, and I like the fact that he says no. Good on you, Rashford. Good on you, bro. Do your thing. I'm not a magician, says Rashford, but if I was, I'd stay at Barcelona. So we will see. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to stay? You're at one of the biggest clubs. You just won a title. You're in the Champions League again next year. You are good. You are good. But respectfully, guys, if the question to me is, do I want him back at Old Trafford? The answer for me would be no, I do not. So that is me. I think the question then might move to, will Barcelona try to pull a fast one and not pay the fee for him? Because he's literally helped them win a champion. This is why I can't do the Barcelona thing. He's just helped them win a title, win a championship, and at the end of the season, they're going to come to United and say, oh, we only want to give you £5 million for him. They're going to do this after he's helped them win a title. They're going to do this, which is going to be annoying. TK says Rashford is also not paying taxes in Spain for another 2. Oh, yeah. What's that rule, TK? Is it something like if you are an immigrant or something? What's the rule? In Spain, you don't pay taxes for the first 2 or 3 years or something. I can't remember. TK's going to have to remind me what the actual thing is. But yeah, that's also a thing as well, guys. But I don't know. Do any of you guys, now that and I've said this before we sold all our wingers and replaced our wingers with number 10s for Ruben Amorim, I said to my chat that when we get rid of this fucking coach, everyone plays with wingers. So we're going to have to buy wingers all over again to replace the wingers we sold. I just want to know, does anybody in the chat want Rashford back? I just want to know. Barcelona are weirdos, TK. I want to fight them. I want to fight Barcelona. Because even the way that Barcelona are trolling Real Madrid as well after they're bossed up. Yeah, Barca. Anyway, we'll move, guys. We will move. Just another confirmation, just in case you guys, I don't know, just in case you had any fear. Because last summer, United told us. They told us that they were going to focus on the attack. And that is exactly what they did. This summer, they're telling us that at 2 out of 5 signings, maybe 3 out of the 5 signings might be a midfielder. So what they are telling us that this summer is about the midfield. So we now know. And they usually do as they say. Especially INEOS. Over the last 2 or 3 years, they do as they say. So I feel like we can be comfortable as a fan base to know that the midfield will be addressed. There's too much talk, too much groundwork has been done with the likes of Baleba last season. We know, guys, that we are going to get midfielders. So everyone who's uptight, everyone whose bums are clenched too tight, who's nervous about the midfield, especially from last season, rest assured it will be addressed. It will be addressed this summer. And I feel like that's another reason why the United fan base is in a good place. Because when you know your roof's leaking and you're like, listen, the roof's leaking, and then the landlord goes, okay, I can see the roof's leaking. I'm going to come and fix it. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that was easy then. I've seen the problem. My landlord sees a problem, and we're both going to address the problem. We as fan base know we need midfielders. United as a football club knows that we need midfielders. We are aligned. The fans the football club, the hierarchy, we are all aligned. We all can see what we need, and we're all happy that United are shopping in Harrods, Westfields. So for once, guys, this might be a summer where the fan base is not going to be too angry, because we are going to do and address everything the fans, us, want United to address. We are aligned. And I feel like that's why I'm like, okay, we drew against Sunderland, but okay, the season's done. Let's just get the summer. Get the summer over. Not over. Let's get the summer kicking. Atro says no thank you to Rashford back. TK says foreigners playing pro sports in Spain don't pay taxes for the first 3 years. Yeah. That sounds familiar. That makes sense, TK. Foreigners who play sports in Spain don't pay taxes for the first 3 years, says TK. Man said Harrods, yet we are looking at Ederson at Audi. Listen, there could be a little Audi next to the Harrods on the same street. Anyway, Samuel Luckhurst is just reminding us that 5 signings next season, 3 midfielders. So sometimes we've had 2 midfielders minimum, possibly 3. Now Samuel Luckhurst is saying 3 midfielders. And I am happy, because I've said, no. It's not 2, possibly 3. I've said, TK, and probably TK and Atro, I think all 3 of us have spoken about this. It has to be a minimum of 3. Think about it. We're going to lose Casemiro and Ugarte. Right now, we need, even if we kept those 2, we need another midfielder. It has to be 3, guys. It has to be 3. A left back and a backup striker. The backup striker is interesting because we already have 2 strikers. Plus Baleba, apparently he can play there. And Cunha, who can play there. Technically speaking, we have 4 players who can play up front. And we're looking for another one. It makes me feel like something's going to happen with Xerxes for us to want another striker. I don't think we need another striker. I don't think scoring goals is our issue now. I think we can have enough players to score goals. I feel like it's our midfield and our defence. We scored goals this season. We've leaked so many. Our midfield and our defence, I think, is the priority. But I wouldn't say no to another striker. A new goalkeeper is also interesting, guys, because where does that leave Vitek? Where does a new goalkeeper signing leave someone like Vitek? I've been hearing wonderful things about Vitek. I don't know. Let me know, guys. Let me know. Let's move on to the last story, people, before we wrap up. And we're going to end with some Kobe propaganda. Don't we love what's happened to Kobe? In a very short space, sport. I combined the 2 words, didn't I? In a very short space of time, Kobe Mainoo has gone from get out of the club, he's not good enough, to be like, now if the fan base is, wow, he's so good, he's better than Elliot Anderson. Why is Elliot Anderson worth 120 and Kobe's only worth, in January they were saying 60 million pounds. Don't forget, in January they were saying 50 million pounds for Kobe, and we were like, yeah. And I was like, what, 50 million for Kobe? Yeah. 100th appearance for Manchester United. Take a bow, Kobe Mainoo. I've said this many times. How many 18-year-olds start in central midfield for Manchester United? Keane wasn't that young. Scholes, I think, was 19, 20. But Scholes, I don't know how many teenagers, 18-year-olds, start in central midfield for Manchester United. Game after. Listen, he started at 18. he didn't play every game. When he was 20, he didn't play too many games for Amorim. Now he's 21. He's kind of back into the team. It's a very young age. He's playing in a position which involves him having to take a lot of responsibility. That's why I said, why is it that Anderson, because when I thought Anderson was about 20, when I saw that Anderson was 23, I said, why is it that Anderson at the age of 23 is not even Nottingham Forest's best player, while Kobe Mainoo, when he was 19, 20, was playing for Manchester United and he was still standing out? That's strange. That's strange to me. So good for Kobe. There's more to come from Kobe. I honestly believe, and a lot of people, especially now seeing that he's kind of playing the six. Casemiro has got the license to drive forward, hence why he scores headers, hence why he takes shots. If you watch Kobe under Michael Carrick, Kobe Mainoo often is the deepest one. He's the one picking the ball from the back four, not Casemiro. A lot of the times. I want to see Kobe Mainoo as an 8. I need see the goal he scored against the winning goal he scored against Liverpool. That's where I want to see him. My thing is this: if we get a more robust midfield, I am prepared to have a 3 midfield and not even have Bruno. I'm prepared to have Kobe the furthest of our midfielders with Baleba and Tonali behind him. That's a very strong, robust midfield. And I know Kobe is not going to be a second striker and leave the double pivot. Kobe will drop deep and help with those two. So I'm happy for Kobe. Good on him. I want more from Kobe. I do want more. I want him to be more unleashed. I want him to have less defensive midfield responsibilities. I don't want to see him always picking the ball up from the back four. I want to see him further forward. I want that job to be given to someone else so I can see Kobe fully as an 8 going box to box. That's kind of where I see Kobe in the next year or two. Let me know if you agree. TK, no Audi or Harrods here. Just wanted to clear that up. Yeah, we do not need a backup striker. We need to work on team functionality. We do not progress consistently. Yeah, we need to know or develop a way under Carrick to one, retain the ball, to progress the ball to our strikers. I think the midfield is the work now. The midfield is the work that we need to do. Did you guys know Binder makes around 10 times what VTech makes now? Give VTech that cake and get rid of Binder. TK, I'm with you. That's the question I asked. If we are looking for another goalkeeper, what's happened to VTech? Because for me, it should be VTech now, number 2. Why can't he be number 2, TK? Why can't he be? Lammens, VTech, and then keep, what's his name? The old one, Heaton, for one more year. Onana stays with Trabzonspor, maybe for another year. Sell in there. Boom, bam, thanks, ma'am, Bob's your uncle. So, that's it, guys. That's it. That's where I see Kobe. 8, the link man. Box to box. We need someone to pick the ball up from the defense. Some of you say Chouameni. I like Chouameni. This is my thing about. I need, that person that can drop a shoulder, that can control the ball with a deft touch, that can work in tight spaces. I don't see Chouameni as that. I want my 6, to be so silky on the ball. So I don't know, guys, about Chouameni. I like Chouameni, and I still will take him, but I don't know, man. My 6, I feel like I like the Rodri the Adam Wharton, and the Carricks. I like that six. The Frankie de Jong. I like those sixes over the Ederson, Chouameni defensive sixes. Does it make sense? Does it make sense, guys? My Footy podcast, 100%. I also think VTech provides better competition. I think I want my six to be able to be Pogba's, to be a pet. I want my six to be able to spray a 40-yard pass from deep, like Pogba would do. I need my six to be short pass, 5 yards, 10 yards, left foot, right foot. But if I want a 40-yard cross pass, left foot, I want a Carrick six, guys. I want that guy to just move the ball around supremely. You know? Is Chouameni that guy? I don't know, guys. I'm just thinking out loud to my chat. Because all of this depends, guys, on the type of football Carrick wants to play. And during the summer, we're going to have conversations about what is Carrick ball? Because all we have seen is Carrick make do with what he has. We're going to have to start to understand, does Carrick play with a Regista six, a Adam Wharton type six, or does he play with a destroyer at the base? Does Carrick play with 1v1 demons, or does he want his wingers to take part in the game a bit more and to drop deep? Do we actually understand Carrick's ethos? Does Carrick has an ethos? Yeah. Looking at the circus Real Madrid has become, I can see potentials looking and having second thoughts. Vinny and Mbappe make that club less desirable. TK, totally off topic, TKizzles. I would say that Mbappe, and I've said this so many times, guys, Mbappe is a problem. I said it in my last stream. You have to play through him or don't play him at all. In the game where every player is part of a system, like watch Arsenal play, watch PSG play, there's no prima donnas. We all have to run. We all have to do our job. That's not Mbappe. Don't forget, before Mbappe went to Madrid won a Champions League with Vinny as the guy. Mbappe got there. They ain't won shit since. As soon as Mbappe left PSG won the Champions League. You know you can be the cure and the cause. I've said this about Bruno. I said the minute Bruno leaves our football club, we might be better. He's the cure and the cause. We have to play through Bruno. He plays as a second striker. He vacates the midfield. He's a problem, but he's also the cure. He gets the assist. He gets the goals. He's a cure and the cause. Mbappe is similar. If you play up to Mbappe's strengths, make Mbappe the main man, just play through him, and everyone else, like a Ronaldo, everyone else will have to suffer, then you're going to get the best out of Mbappe. Sometimes, guys, and let me just say this to you, you can get the best out of one player at a cost to the team. You have to work out, is getting the best out of that one player worth a 10% drop in the whole team, or maybe a 10% drop in that player, but the whole team plays at 100%. For example, these trade-offs happen constantly when picking and formulating football teams. So, football's complicated like that. I've always said Mbappe, he's a speed demon, he's a good footballer, he's electric, it's all of these things. But that French team, had to play for him. Griezmann had to play for him. The whole Kante Pogba midfield was because they were playing for him. You have to play for Mbappe. You have to. There's a lot of players like that. So, as much as I like Bruno and I love what Bruno's done, there's a part of me that doesn't fear the other side. There's a part of me that says, I can't wait to see what we look like without Bruno. I don't fear it. I embrace it. The unknown, what's it said? People, human beings fear what they don't understand. We fear what we don't understand, and we hate what we can't conquer. And that's a theory of men. I don't fear what I don't understand. I don't fear the unknown. I embrace it. When people say, what's United going to be? What are we going to do without Bruno's goals and assists? I say, you think Bruno was the best player that played for us? You don't think we lost Cristiano Ronaldo? You don't think we lost Scholes and Keane? Van Nistelrooy. When we lost Ruud Van Nistelrooy, people were said, how the fuck do we continue with that Ruud 30 goals? And guess what happened, guys? Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo said, hold my beer. Hold my fucking beer. Those 30 goals that Ruud Van Nistelrooy, that we lost with Ruud, don't worry, boss. Don't worry. Football evolves. I do not fear the unknown. I embrace it. I cannot wait to see how we evolve as a football team without the need to play through one specific player. That's all. That is all I am saying. Big up, everybody. Let me see. My pad's battery's dead, so let me see the chat. Touch base with the chat, guys. My Footy Podcast. Yep, that's Wharton. I still don't buy this Wharton Manu similarity. My Footy Podcast. I don't think Wharton and Manu are similar. There's one thing I've said about Manu that I want Manu to improve on that I think Adam Wharton has. Manu's long pass game is good. But Adam's Wharton long pass game is better, bro. Adam Wharton hits those lofty little passes over the top that are just nice to see. The Carrick-esque into them channels. Kobe floats it a bit more. Kobe will float it to your feet. One thing, I want Kobe to improve his long pass game. But Kobe is different. Kobe is a dribbler. Kobe can move from one point, from A to B, with the ball at his feet. He can drop a shoulder, like Beleba can, as well. So they are similar, but they're not really. They're not really. Acho says, yeah, I would like a sitter, but they need to be able to get forward as well. So yeah, I want someone like Wharton. Mbappe wasn't even on the bench in El Clasico. He must have been injured, surely, TK, if he wasn't on the bench. Footy Podcast, Bruno is a cheat code, not the solution. Yeah, we could never ever look past what Bruno's done for the football club, guys, in terms of his goals and assists. It's cemented in our history now. That's it. But Bruno is on everything. Bruno takes every single set piece, every corner really he takes, every free kick and every penalty. And we must always remember that, right? When we're comparing him and his stats to someone who just gets open play goals and assists. Big up Alfred in the building. Oh yeah, he was injured. Oh yeah, I thought so. I'm like, only a brave manager leaves out Mbappe if he's not injured. TK says he doesn't buy it. Oh, Mbappe. It's so funny. Real Madrid, right? Listen, I always said the Galacticos didn't really win that much. Madrid have tried buying the way that they're currently buying Galacticos, and it didn't work. So I don't know why they're doing the whole Vinny and Mbappe and all these things. Bro, just construct a team. Forget about the names. Construct a team, bro. Why are you still doing the Galactico shit in 2026? Alfred said, thoughts on refereeing masterclass last few matches. Alfred, yeah? I want to ask the chat this quickly before we go, guys. That foul on Raya, was that a foul for you guys? Honestly. here's my thing on the whole Arsenal and David Raya thing. Arsenal have set the standard for fouling. I have seen Arsenal do that to goalkeepers all season. And I've been saying, what's happened to protecting goalkeepers? Goalkeepers are getting thrown around, getting muscled off the ball all the time. And I've said this on this channel that I believe it's not Arsenal's fault, but the way that they've been allowed to do free kicks is given permission to players or for players who foul goalkeepers. And that's become part of our game. So when I saw that foul given, I was like, I could see why that was a foul, and that would have been a foul maybe a season ago. But compared to what I've seen this current season, that's not a fucking foul, bro. I've seen worse than that, and I've seen it given as a goal. So I saw it and I was like, I get why it was given as a foul. But that's not consistent with what I have been seeing this season. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. There you go, footy. That's what I'm saying, my footy podcast. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. It was a foul. My problem with it is the number of times Arsenal have done it to others without punishment. Boom. Exactly what I'm saying. My issue with it was, hold on a second. I've seen this before. Oh, wow. Probably like a few weeks ago when Arsenal scored a goal from the corner. But it's now not allowed. Hmm. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am gonna have problems with the fact that Arsenal are gonna win the league. I don't know how I'm mentally going to handle it. You guys are going to have to be my therapy. It's absolutely unbearable if Arsenal win the league, and they will win the league. So I'm gonna try my best to come to terms with this shit. But I'm letting you know, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's gonna be unbearable. But I have to come to terms with it. You guys are gonna have to help me because my mental health is at stake. No, but jokes aside though, nah, Arsenal win the league. Oh man, that's charter bomber club, bomber ass, bomberatted, pussy clot, ras clot, all the clots, all the clots, bomber clot, ras clot, pussy clot, suck your mother, all the Jamaicans. When Arsenal win the league, all the Jamaicans will come out at me. Watch. Anyway, every match was a snooze except City and Brighton matches. Alfred says, if Bruno's a 10 and Kobe's is 8, surely we need another 8 and 2 6s. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Alfred. Alf. Another 8 and 2 6s. All right, give me Mateus Fernandez as the other 8. And then give me Baleba and Chouameni as the 2 6s. How about that, Alfred? Does that sound good to you? What's Alfred saying? Ederson and Baleba links, especially with Wilcox's talent ID. Yeah, 100% a foul on Raya, says TK. I think we could admit it was a foul based on a normal season. Alfred says it could be, but it's the consistency that matters. Yeah, I think let's say the chat agrees that it was a foul, but let's say politically, we have concerns over how consistent this has been, or consistently this has been applied. Yeah, can we say that, objectively it was a foul. However, the amount of dirt and lack of consistency in those types of fouls being in favor of Arsenal. I'm such a what am I'm a justice warrior. I hate injustice. I don't like. I'm like, Arsenal are gonna win the league by playing this dead football, by being corner boys, by scoring these dead crap goals. They're gonna win the league this way. These fuckers. Man, I want to fight us. My go-to is always fighting, innit? Man's always I want to fight everybody. Um, the Everton game versus Man United was also a prison watch. Alfred's a donut. I love Alfred. They were literally crowding Lammens like a magnet. We're gonna have listen. As I've said before, every season at the start of every season, there's always a note that gets sent to the clubs from the referees about what they're now gonna start looking at, right? And what they're gonna now be deemed as fouls and how the new offside rule works and all that crap, right? At the start of this next season, I want the referees and the FA to sit around a fucking table and officially let us know what is allowed during corners. Am I allowed to put the goalkeeper in an arm lock or a headlock? Yeah? Am I allowed to put the goalkeeper in a headlock? If that's the case, then cool, I'm gonna do that. Just let us know what we can or what we can't do. And then be consistent with it. Can I punch a goalkeeper in his face? Am I allowed to do that? Cool. That's fine. Just let me know. Um, yeah, to be fair, TK, about the corners as well, TK, we are now starting to be the team that score. I think we're the team that scored the second amount of goals, second most goals from corners. So if we're gonna call Arsenal corner boys, then what are we then? What are we then? You know, what are we? TK always comes with a realism. As much as I hate Arsenal, TK was like, "Would you rather have Man City win?" And I'm like, "Oh, man, no." You're right, TK. It's not. It's not. Listen, they're no good choices. They're no good choices here. You know. That's why, as much as I'm not a GA person. Maybe Bruno breaking the assist record might put a bit of a smile on my face because it means we've United have won something. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I'm on DND. London ain't safe. I can go mute on socials, but I have no idea what I will do with my two brothers who are Arsenal fans. I think my footy. I think I've explained it well. I think, but TK's right. Every time I think about it, I got to remind myself these guys cheat, bro. We have to keep it 100. Man City are cheaters, bro. So based just on the fact that one team is doing it by playing football and not cheating, and the other team is cheating, we have to be Arsenal. We have to back Arsenal. But then what kicks in is the emotion, the bias. What kicks in is the fact that we are in London and we have brothers or cousins that are Arsenal fans that are going to give it to us every day for a whole year. What kicks in is the fact that before Arsenal even won the Champions League, before they even won, this could be the first Premier League title in over 20 years since Highbury. So before they've even won anything, they're one of the loudest football clubs. Imagine after they win. I've always said that this is my issue with Arsenal. I don't dislike the football club. The institution, listen, win the dog shit that they do and all the stuff that they do, they can do whatever. Like Spurs. They can have Beyonce come to their stadium and shake her ass. Do whatever you need to do. The actual club, I don't hate. The fan base, I hate. Whereas Man City, I hate the club. I don't know where the Man City fans are. You point to me a Man City fan. They don't exist. So I don't have to see it. It's not real to me. Whereas Arsenal, I'm going to be working with Arsenal fans who are going to chat shit to me at work. It's real. Fuck Arsenal. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, swings and roundabouts. I hate the Man City club. I don't give a fuck about the fans because they don't have any. I don't care about Arsenal Football Club. I can't stand the fans. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. Wiz and everyone in the chat, are we really seeing a style of play? I still haven't seen any. I don't know about next season mentality. Football is great, but tactics are too vital. Alfred, Alfred, I feel like we need to have a conversation about that as well. I haven't said anything about Carrick's style of play, and I haven't really been too negative about Carrick because we're doing well. We're still winning games, but I've always said that our best games actually City and City and Arsenal are games where we were sort of mid to low block. We were compact, and I wouldn't say we fully played on a counter attack, but we were a counter attacking team. There isn't a direct style of play, and that's why I asked the question at the beginning of this whole session. The midfielders we get doesn't need to depend, if we keep Carrick, assuming we keep Carrick, doesn't also need to depend on what is Carrick ball, Alfred? What is Carrick ball? Can we define it? Is it a bad thing that we can't define it? Because if I asked you, Alfred, what is Fergie ball? Could you define it? Could you define Fergie from 4-4-2, Pallister and Hughes, to 4-4-1-1, Scholes behind Van Nistelrooy, to 4-3-3, Rooney, Ronaldo, Tevez, to 4-4-2? What is Fergie's system? What is Fergie's style of play? I don't know. Just questions, Alfs. Just questions. Ethical set piece FC. It's either Baleba, but we do need to listen. I'm prepared to have a conversation. What is Carrick ball? Have we seen a style of play, guys? And is it a bad thing to have multiple styles? Because what I see is Carrick set us up well. We know what to do defensively. We know what to do structurally, and we're given instructions of how to play, but we don't play a specific way. It's not like we always go to the wings. It's not like we just do there's nothing that we always do, which sometimes that can make you more flexible. Arsenal play a certain way. Man City play a certain way. Inflexible. You can argue the Fergie approach of setting your team up with instructions without rigidly saying, oh, no, this is what you do, this is what you do, might make you more flexible. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud, guys. If you disagree, do what you need to do. Let's see what the chat's saying. Is either Baleba or Carlos from Brighton, according to Will Cox. Guys, what about João Gomez? Is it done? João Gomez, not one of the 6 people on our list? No João Gomez from Wolves. Wolves are going down. TK said we should raid other clubs. João Gomez, guys, for anybody? After I saw Pep did the Hammers thing, I needed my eyes cleansed. That ball's fraud. The Zidans of Arnie slots. Flipping heck. Halal corners. I forgot about the Napoli game. They are losing. Manchiti shouldn't even be in the league. Are the FA brave enough? TK, are the FA brave enough to go against the billionaire Saudis? Wait, Saudis or it's Qatari? Who owns Man City? Saudis or Qataris? Doesn't even matter. This same place, Middle East. By the way, I'm not saying they're the same people. I'm not trying to be rude, but City fans only exist in that part of Manchester. I don't know anyone here in North America that supports them. It's a weird club. I remember, listen, bring me back the City with, what's his name? The GOAT. No, this is the City that just got promoted with Sean Golter. Is it Sean Golter? When they just signed Craig Bellamy and all that shit. Bring me back that City team. Amorim was right, says My Footy Podcast. He told us we will have to suffer. And if Arsenal win the league, we will surely suffer. Amorim, bro. Amorim was some BDSM kink master, bro. Amorim loved suffering. Everything was about Amorim was suffering. He loved it, bro. I was like, bro, this guy talks about suffering like it's good. We must suffer. He had some kink, bro. He must suffer and suffer. I'm like, bro, I get English. English is not your main language, bro. But I'm done suffering, bro. I'm done. I don't want to suffer no more. Leave me alone. All right, guys. TK says there is no real Carrick ball. All he has done is highlight the players' talents and let them blossom. The players seem like they invent the style on a per game basis. Listen, TK, I weren't going to say nothing. I wanted to see what you guys thought, but I'm not gonna lie, TK. That is probably the space where I will be in terms of Carrick ball. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Because the question I asked, what was Fergie ball? Yeah, I've always said this. Fergie ball was just winning. Fergie will do a man mark thing one game. Fergie will start Scholes behind Van Nistelrooy one game. He might do it's anything. You just win. Just win. Find a way to win. That was Fergie ball. Anyway, guys. Ooh. I don't know about that, TK. I'll do my research. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Very, very interesting, TK. All right, guys. 9 o'clock. Wow, guys. I think we needed that stream because we didn't have a watch along on Saturday. A lot's happened this weekend in terms of, Arsenal getting closer to the Premier League title, Arsenal drawing the game against Sunderland, a lot of news about transfers. And I feel like we needed to touch base. It's a very long show. 1 hour and 45 minute show, guys. Wow, we did that shit. Big up the community. Always sick. This is why I like this shit, yeah, because I can talk and I know my chat is... Listen, my chat will bust jokes, but always, at the same time, chat sense. And I like different perspectives because that's how my brain works. So big up the community all day, every day. Yeah, this is how we do it, man. This is some good conversation, man. Some good chat, good content. We keep it moving. When's our next game, man? Hopefully we can watch this game together, guys. Sunday, 12:30. It will be live. So another week, and we'll be playing a game. So we will be live for that game. Our next show, of course, guys, will be on Wednesday. Let me know, you guys who are in the Discord, let me know if you want to jump on the stream on Wednesday. If you guys are around 7:15 to jump on, let's jump on and you guys can give your opinions live on stream and just have a chat and just chop it up. So let me know if you're around Wednesday 7:15. That's our next show. Big up the chat. Enjoy the rest of your evening, people. It is 9 p.m. almost UK time. Free Shivam Ferguson. Dude, Shivam touched base. Shivam jumped in the chat, I think, last week, right? Yeah, he's still around. He's still around, but I feel TK makes you laugh. I feel like the listen, you can be wrong. Except me, I'm never wrong. I feel like it's hard for me to be wrong, yeah, because I rarely say things with my chest until I know for sure. So I say things like Ahmad might not do well or he might do well. I caveat things because I don't know. But only when I know about shit, that's when I say things with my chest. A lot of people, they say things with their chest even if they're not sure. I try not to do that. I try not to. All right, TK, I'll check that out. I'll check that out, T Kizzles. Well, if it's right, TK, then there's more than one way to get rid of this Man City side. And if the government are true to their words, and if they're on job, and if correct word is consistent, if they are consistent, then we'll see. I'll check it out though, TK. Definitely. Last game for Casemiro. That's going to be emotional, Alfred. I like Cass. Cass has been good. In general, he's been good for us. Yes, I agree. He probably wasn't the player we should have bought. But since we did buy him, he has contributed to our short-term success here. He has. So, big up everyone. Big up everybody. Have a good evening. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Remember, it is easier to love than it is to hate. I stopped saying that because I hate Arsenal, but it's easier to love than it is to hate. Big up, guys. I'll see you next time, man.